and this is part of the problem why this building needs to be torn down or replaced. There's been quite a bit of foundation shifts. I don't know if it's been deemed unsafe or not. It was always a wonderful school. Yeah, I could see structural shifting all over right there in the older part of the building. This part of the building to the left was built long time after I was in school here. My last school year here was fall of 1975. You know, recess time, this area was a field and kids played along this area here. Somebody did vandalize and break into the school once. I think they figured out it was somebody from the Baptist Children's Village. You know, perhaps a few other kids in town. I don't know. Stuff like that happens sometime during the holidays. Now, I always loved the fact that there's this huge recess area. Now, way after my time here, there was a teacher who was a neighbor, just happened to live over here on the other street. I believe her name, her first name may be Jill, the same as her daughter, but Mrs. Terry, a music teacher, and her daughter Jill Terry went on to be professional pianists playing classical music. I'm not sure if it's even okay to walk in this area, but I didn't see any signs, and I'm on my way to a friend's house, so I'm just going to mosey on. There's no one here. There's no telling what they're going to do with this property. I'm sure there's a lot of guys bidding on it. And it's always been a great neighborhood, beautiful landscape. You could do many, many things with this. I doubt that they want typical commercial property where somebody's selling something or a restaurant because of its proximity. You know, the smell of food, the heavy smell of food from, you know, cooking all day long may irritate some of these people out here that like to sit in the backyard and have a cigar. Like my Aunt Wawees used to say, let's pretend for a minute that we're on the board of directors. You're the director of operations. The big do. Is there even such a position, director of operations? Operations manager, planner. Beautiful landscape. Anything can be done here. Now, because my parents have never been property owners other than a residential home inside of Clinton or inside of Hinds County. All of our land is in Webster County. I've never sat in on any sort of planning. The one thing I do not like to see at the beginning of any meeting is somebody using intimidation and expressing a lot of selfishness at a meeting when you have the concern of the community at hand, and there's many positive things you can do besides make some rich guy super rich. Now that sounds so simple, and it is, and it's true. So take a look at this property. There's no for sale signs. This is a public property belonging to the city of Clinton, Hinds County, and the state of Mississippi. What would you do with this? Now the taxes are fairly high in Clinton. My family's never complained about that because they've always loved the community services And most of the time, how the police handle their business, it's not supposed to be a business. It's supposed to serve and protect, not intimidate and threat. Go figure. Well, I met Bubba Johnston, a boy born nearly completely deaf. He could hear some sound. I spent quite a bit of time with Bubba. Now, I was not his closest friend. Joe Adams, Steve McCluskey, Steve Boyd, Rob Neville, people like that were closer to him than I was. The reason being, Bubba loved hunting, fishing, and he did those activities regularly. So his parents made sure he had a Toyota four-wheel drive, like a lot of those boys that like to go out into the countryside, off-road to the areas where you hunt and fish. And all those guys had a great time. They invited me many times, and I would just have some reason that I didn't want to go or could not go because I was doing something else. I really spent a lot of time at home reading the Bible, martial arts book, philosophy, history, nonfiction. And I was not an avid hunter, but I do like it, and I do like to fish also. I did most of my fishing in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I have also fished at Lake Norman, the reservoir, and other places around here. The fishing in Mississippi is fantastic. So my first memory of meeting Bubba Johnston is right there. Now, I've always thought they could tidy up this area a little bit better. It looks like it needs to be landscaped.